Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and today I'm here to do my other Shakespeare review that I need to do, which is for the play King John. King John is one of Shakespeare's histories and probably the least read history of the bunch. And honestly, I can see why. This was not my favorite history. It tells the story of King John towards the end of his life. And yes, by the way, King John is the same as Prince John that you may remember from Robin Hood films. He was the son of Henry II and Eleanor of Aquitaine, and brother to Richard I, or Richard the Lionheart, and there was also another brother, Geoffrey, who was in the middle, who does come into play in this play. In order to sort them all out, I would actually recommend watching The Lion in Winter before reading this play, because that play sorts out the relationship between his parents and how they used their children as pawns to play against one another to get what they wanted. It was a very screwed up family. And some of those dynamics arise here. We have many tense and fraught and argued relationships here. King John and his wife Isabel have a son, also named Henry, who they of course want to succeed, but there are many other contenders for the succession. There is of course the French contender, as this was the period in which England was trying to control France, and that went back and forth for many, many generations. But at this point, King John controlled at least part of France. That is until the French send him a message asking him to swear allegiance to their Prince Arthur. John, of course, refuses, and this starts a war. However, he has several battles to fight on the home front as well. There is the fact that Philip Falconbridge, a knight in his court, is revealed to be, throughout the course of the play, in fact, his own nephew. He is the illegitimate son of Richard I. And there is the fact that his brother Geoffrey's widow, Constance, also has a son, who she says would be a much more fit successor than John's son. And of course, King John's mother, Eleanor of Aquitaine, is still alive and loves to throw herself into the mix. All of these tensions then play themselves out over the course of the play. Spoiler alert here for the ending. John, in fact, meets his end by being poisoned by a monk, and then his son ends up succeeding him anyway. And Philip, otherwise known as the Bastard, reflects that internal conflict can be just as dangerous to a country as a foreign invasion. I find that very ironic, since he has been in the background meditating and, at least in thought, if not in deed, stirring the pot for the entire play. There are other interesting moments, such as when Eleanor of Aquitaine, the Queen Mother, and Lady Constance, Geoffrey's widow, go head to head, and they are two very strong and very protective and very determined mothers who want to make sure that their children get the best and get what they feel they deserve. However, those moments are very few and far between, and the rest of the play is honestly a bit boring and a bit dry. For example, by the time we get to the end of the play, I didn't even realize that John had been poisoned by a monk. I knew he had been poisoned, but I didn't realize by who. Probably, at least I guess, that's because John doesn't know himself. I'm not too sure on that, but I think that could be the reason why. But apart from those two moments, there weren't any standout points to this play for me. The poetry wasn't particularly powerful. There weren't big scenes that swept me up in drama. I wasn't particularly attached to any of the characters. And apart from a couple, you never really got to see their inner psychology. And I wonder if it's only because of my background knowledge that I could see any of that psychology. So therefore, this is another one where I did not see a film version to accompany it because A, there aren't that many film versions of this one. There's a reason why these plays are less performed and less taught than some of Shakespeare's other works. And in addition, I really didn't like the play enough to care to see it played out. Again, if this happens to be one of your favorites, let me know in the comments down below why that is, because I would love to have a chat with you, and I'd love to see if you could maybe persuade me to read it again. I may or may not, but give it a try. Until next time, be safe, be well, and happy reading. Bye everyone.